Liberty has such speed coming out of the backfield. I know that's something that we talked to with with Georgetown's coaching staff this week. They mentioned that something that they were looking against was the speed that Liberty brings out of the backfield and how they can combat that.
I'm sure if George had to go against Liberty, he'd be worried about it too.
I don't think George will be on the team.
Well, that's a fair point. Yeah, Georgetown coming off a loss against Rutgers, where that was really the main takeaway from Coach Longacre, looking at how the team stacked up in that particular matchup, said really getting ready for the speed and attack nature of Liberty. Rutgers was a great preparation for that because that's what they just faced last time out. That score was 7-0 the final. Liberty also coming off of a tough loss last time out, having to go against number one team in the nation, UNC, and the Tar Heels came away with a 7-1 victory in that. So both teams coming off very difficult matchups with opponents that looking to rebound from, and again, with these two teams being in the Big East Conference, looking for a big conference victory as well. And we're talking, Hannah, about the season winding down, just around the corner, a couple weeks away, but November 2nd, Big East Field Hockey Championship will take place. In fact, it'll be right here in Lynchburg, Virginia. So this is the complex that fans will be able to watch the Big East Field Hockey Championship November 2nd and November 4th, a Friday-Sunday combination for the semifinals, and ultimately deciding a league champion.
It will be, and this is actually Liberty's first time hosting a conference tournament, so I know they're excited here and getting ready for that big weekend.
Certainly a great venue for it. Nice town and nice setting here, and certainly the field hockey complex. You can see in the background there of the shot, it's only getting better as a complex. Construction on the far side, they're adding on and doing even more with the facility, and it's already one of the premier facilities in the country.
Absolutely. They're definitely going to add some really cool improvements for the girls, for the coaches, for the team. I think that will definitely be another asset to the program.
Liberty with the 1-goal lead. Van Aerle scored in the 4th minute, assisted by Jill Bolton. That remains the difference right now. That was something Liberty did in last year's meeting. All 3 goals came in the first half a year ago, and they really dominated the first half of play, outshooting Georgetown by double digits in the first 35 minutes and then riding that to the 3-0 victory. Maroney, O'Keefe, and Fortenbaugh had the goals last year against the Hoyas. Right now it's Van Aerle on the board for Liberty. Bolton with the assist, has it right now for the Flames. And taken away by Michaela Bruno, junior on this team. Team MVP a season ago, now with some nice stick work, able to find an opening and finding Lindsay Getz. Getz trying to feed it across, deflected momentarily, ball loose. Georgetown trying to keep it alive, and Liberty gets it away out of harm's way with, looked like Hostler getting back there to save the day momentarily. Georgetown had a chance to even it up there.
Some beautiful stick work by Michaela Bruno you saw there. She just wove her way through that Liberty defense, but Allison Schaefer coming up big with that save.
Schaefer, a junior, 280 career saves are her name. That's also a Liberty record.
It's a lot of balls flying at you. I'm sure she's had her fair share of fear in the back there, but she's been a really sturdy back for the Flames these last couple of years, and I'm sure as she moves into her end of her junior year, into her senior year, she's just full of experience that's really helping them out this season back there.
Maroney with it. Jones to Bolton, looking for a seam, looking to get it through to Maroney. Now back to live action. Georgetown working with it. And foul called on the challenge there by Hamlet. Hamlet, another freshman on this team. She's actually started 12 of the 13 games this year coming in. It's always something you see with a lot of teams, maybe 1 or 2 freshmen coming in, but again, like these freshmen have come in, started right away, made immediate contributions, and as the season goes, getting regular time out there and helping their teams to successful seasons here in 2018.
Absolutely, and part of that, honestly, is that throughout the country, field hockey is growing as a sport, and training at the lower level is getting so much better, and these high school programs are pouring into their girls, so when they're coming in as freshmen, they're having more experience than you might have seen even 3 years ago, and these girls have played at a very high level on a very high speed, and these girls are coming in ready to play.
That was something that Nikki Parsley-Blocker talked about earlier this year when we had a chance to catch up with her about when you're going out there recruiting, you're looking for players that are going to push the envelope, that are going to really come in and challenge right away. That's what you want as a program, not just for growth, but also to keep the success building. And that's evident here with both of these teams. Georgetown and Liberty are programs that are building with each incoming class. And again, with Christy Longacre on the other side in her first season, she'll have a chance to do that as well, being at the helm of Georgetown moving forward.
Absolutely. You look at youth. You even look at Georgetown's goalie, Kira Wheats. She's in her first year as well, having a spectacular season.
Take a look at that shot just a second ago.
Great clear by Allison Schaefer. That kick with her left pad, while it might look easy, that's a very difficult skill for goalkeepers to get that where they want it. So she had a fantastic clear out there down wide.
Schaefer can relate to Wheats, what you were just talking about with Wheats stepping right in and being inserted into action. That's the case with Schaefer. Came in as a freshman and had a record 124 saves that first year as a couple players get tangled up and Bolton's stick is tossed aside momentarily.
Looked like it was stuck in the other player's shoe. The shape of that stick, sometimes the hook proves to be a little daunting on the field.
All's well that ends well, I suppose. Everybody now has their own stick and play resumes. Bolton using that stick right now near midfield. Long pass intended for Klopp ahead, and a collision as coming out was Wheats. Ran right into Klopp going the other direction. Everybody springs back to their feet and play continues.
Doesn't feel super good, that big run in, but they both came up pretty all right, so rebounded back pretty well.
Georgetown trying to gain possession and work it down the field here. Instead, it rolls off the stick of Vanderveen on the near side. Liberty has won all 5 previous meetings against Georgetown. That includes 2-0 in Big East play. Liberty joined the conference a couple of years ago, so this is the 3rd time these teams meet as conference foes. They met 3 times previously in non-conference matchups. Liberty has won all 5, including last year, which we mentioned was a 3-0 shutout in favor of the Flames. A lot of differences, though, this year with Georgetown's new coaching staff we talked about, but one thing I found interesting, Hannah, talking about last year's meeting being at Georgetown. Georgetown actually plays on field turf at its home facility, and that was actually the biggest thing that head coach Nikki Parsley-Blocker for Liberty said would maybe make a difference in this one.
Absolutely. The surface, in any sport, the surface makes a difference, but especially in field hockey, with the ball being the size that it is and the speed the game goes, on any type of surface, you're playing a whole different game. So these girls, if they're training on field turf, coming to Astro, this is just speeding the game up. And then when Liberty did go to Georgetown, that's just slowing the game down a little bit. And so changing the game, changing the pace of the game makes an impact on the outcome every single time.
Field turf, Astro turf, and rumor has it you've played a few games on natural grass as well.
Grass is definitely a surface used. You don't see it. Actually, I don't believe any Division I teams do play on grass anymore. But at the lower levels, Division II, Division III, there are some teams that are still playing on grass, and that, honestly, in and of itself, it's almost a different sport. It's just a lot of hitting, a lot of running, and a lot of running back.
That was a Division I matchup, though, when you played on the grass then. So they've
yes.
worked that out of the Division I level.
Yeah, Radford, who formerly had a field hockey team, did play on grass. That was back in 2014. but they have since actually ended their program, and thus no more grass.
Radford, a school just a couple hours to the west of here on US 460, also in Virginia. Final 15 minutes of the first half. Liberty with the lone goal. It was very early. Liberty able to score in the 4th minute. The goal by Monique Van Aerle, her 3rd of the year. She now has 7 points on the season. Jill Bolton had the assist on it for her 2nd helper of the season. She has 10 goals on this team, so 22 points for her overall this year.
You can see here the pace of the game has slowed down just a little bit as both teams are settling into the groove. This is usually where you see it around this 15-minute mark remaining in the half. They're preserving energy, but they're also just starting to see what the other team is aiming for.
Annika Roberts retrieves it for Liberty. Finds Hamlet. Ball moves past Jones. Georgetown reels it in. Hamlet with a takeaway from Vanderveen.
I'll tell you what, this Georgetown team is working hard. Liberty has a very strong passing game, and I'm sure Georgetown has seen that in scouting, and they're doing a great job to eliminate those passes. They're stepping in front of a lot of these balls, and they're not connecting to a lot of the Liberty players. Right now, Georgetown is really stepping up right there.
That's one of the points of emphasis for Coach Longacre for Georgetown coming into this season. Wanted to make defense, being disciplined, and also just a team-based culture, really the staples of this Georgetown program. Talked about the team-based structure, making each other important, creating a family culture that is inviting and everyone feels a part of. And within that, in terms of the actual field hockey, being disciplined and specifically defense, the two hallmarks she wants anyone who plays Georgetown in the future to realize that's what you're going to face when you go against the Hoyas.
Absolutely, and that unity she spoke to as well, just that they're a team on and off the field. The girls, if they're not on the field, they're together studying, they're together hanging out, they're together in the dining hall. So it's not just a family on the field, but they're really spending time together off the field, and that's the kind of chemistry that does carry on and ultimately helps your game.
Those off-field relationships so important for on the field. It just makes it more fun in general. I mean, you want to be around people you like, I believe, regardless
Most
of.
people would probably say so.
I think it's a good goal in life.